15-year-old girl sold to billionaire, the truth behind the wedding photo.
Hello everyone. Enjoy these relaxing moments while you watch.
Lucy, wake up, sweetheart. Put on the dress I left on the bed, okay? There's a special party today. What party, Mom? Lucy rubbed her eyes, still adjusting to the early morning light. Don't ask too many questions. Just do as I say. It's the red dress, it suits you perfectly. Lucy frowned. That dress is too fancy. We don't have the money to go to rich people's parties. Abigail didn't answer. She silently took a lipstick and applied it to her daughter's lips. Her hand trembled slightly. Are you okay, Mom? Yes, it's just that, today will change your life, Lucy. Lucy gave a dry laugh. You make it sound like I'm about to compete in a beauty pageant. Abigail looked away. The two of them sat in an old bus, winding through the dusty streets on the outskirts of New York. Where are we going, Mom? Away from this poor neighborhood for a bit. You're going to meet a kind man. He's hosting a charity event. Do you know him? No, but I've known about him for a while. He helped me pay off some debts. Lucy turned to look at her mother. You borrowed money again? It was a desperate time. No one else would lend me money except Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry? That name sounds familiar. He's a businessman. Owns a few big buildings in the city. He's older, but well respected. Lucy sighed. People say he's strange. Always seen with young girls. Where did you hear that? Abigail panicked. At school. One time I saw a tabloid with him and some girl, she was just 18. The bus stopped in front of a massive iron gate. Lucy's eyes widened as she saw the white mansion nestled in a garden that looked like a park. Mom, is this Mr. Henry's house? Yes, this is where the party is happening. It looks like a fairy tale castle. Mom, can I even go in? I feel so out of place. A tall man stepped out from behind the gate. He wore a black suit, shiny leather shoes, and his hair was slicked back with precision. Abigail. This is Lucy. Yes, sir. This is Mr. Henry. Lucy whispered, Mom, he called you by your first name, are you really that close with him? Don't talk nonsense. Bow and greet him. Mr. Henry took Lucy's hand and kissed the back of it like an old-fashioned gentleman. Lucy, I've heard about you for a long time. You truly are a flower blooming in the slums. It's an honor to meet you. Lucy gave a forced smile. Thank you, sir. Henry glanced at Abigail, then murmured, she's perfect. I think this will work well. Lucy frowned, but Abigail quickly pulled her into the mansion. Inside, the lights were dazzling. Servers in white uniforms poured champagne for the guests. Lucy followed her mother nervously, her eyes lost among the lavishly dressed crowd. Mom, I don't feel right. Be quiet. Everything will be fine. Mr. Henry stepped up onto a raised platform in the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is not only a charity event, but also a very special day in my life. Lucy backed away. Mom, what is he doing? Don't make a scene. And now, allow me to introduce my future fiancée Lucy. The room fell silent for half a second, then exploded with applause. Lucy froze. What? Mom? Abigail didn't say a word. She just held Lucy's hand tightly, as if afraid she would run. No, no way. Mom. That man is insane. Mr. Henry stepped down, wrapped an arm around Lucy's waist, pulling her close. Lucy, do you accept? Let go. I'm not. I'm only 15. The crowd chuckled. A man whispered to the person next to him. It's a family tradition, they get engaged young. An older woman clapped. Youthful beauty. Mr. Henry is still quite the gentleman. Lucy struggled. Mom. Say something. Abigail whispered, just endure it for a little while. You'll understand later. Understand what? You sold me. Mr. Henry gripped Lucy tighter. You're just shocked. In time, you'll see you're the luckiest girl alive. Lucy pushed him away. I want to go home. Henry smirked. What home? This is your home now. Your mother has already agreed. Lucy stepped back, tripped on her dress, almost falling. A woman helped her up. Be careful, dear. What's your name? Rose. I take care of things here. I'll help you get settled. I don't want to settle. I want to leave. Rose looked around and whispered, be quiet. Don't cause a scene. It's not safe here. Henry pulled Abigail aside. You didn't tell her anything, right? I told her it was a party. She's just overwhelmed. She'll get used to it. You signed the contract. Your debt is gone. Don't make things messy. Lucy stood in the middle of the grand room, spotlights shining on her face, but she felt completely exposed. A girl in a silky red dress approached. Hi. I'm Marissa. I used to be someone Mr. Henry was interested in too. But I wasn't as lucky as you. Lucky? You call this lucky? Marissa shrugged. At least you're the fiancé. I got kicked out the day I turned 18. What did he do to you? Doesn't matter now. If you're smart, act obedient. It's the only way to stay alive. Lucy trembled. Rose quietly pulled her toward the stairs. You need to rest. Come with me. In the upstairs bedroom, Rose sat by the bed and handed Lucy a glass of milk. You're not like the others. Because I'm not one of them. I used to work for your mother when you were little. Really? Then why are you here? Because Abigail asked me to come watch over you. But I didn't expect things to go this far. Lucy was speechless. Miss Rose, did my mom really sell me? I don't know all the details, but I know your mom was desperate because of debt. Henry took advantage of that. Lucy buried her face in the pillow. I'm going to die here. No. You have to stay sharp. I'll find a way. But for now, don't rebel. Just observe. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Henry stood outside the door. Lucy, I hope you'll join me for breakfast tomorrow like a true lady of the house. Rose stood in front of him. She's tired. Let her rest. Henry sneered. I hope you remember your place. Don't play moral guardian. The door slammed shut. Lucy whispered, I want to disappear from this world. Rose squeezed her hand. Not yet. You need to survive, to escape this place. Can't I leave the mansion? No. Henry says you need to adjust before you're publicly presented. Rose closed the bedroom curtains and spoke softly. No social media, no phone either. You're completely controlled. Lucy frowned. I just want to call Irene, my best friend. She'll call the police. You can't. Henry has people in the local police. If you make noise, the consequences will be serious. Lucy dropped onto the bed. So I'm a prisoner in this castle? Rose hesitated. A velvet castle, but inside, it's chains and shackles. A week passed. Lucy hadn't seen her mother. Henry, where's my mom? Busy. Abigail is starting a new life. She needs peace and quiet. Lucy snapped, peace and quiet after selling her daughter. Henry narrowed his eyes. Lucy, you need to learn to control your words. One day, you'll represent the Dawson family. Lucy stood. I'm only 15. I don't want to represent anyone. Henry smiled, as if she were a misbehaving child. It's just an engagement. When you turn 18, we'll have the wedding. She shouted, I'll never marry you. Henry approached and grabbed her chin with a cold hand. Everything is already decided, my dear. Don't fight your fate. After dinner, Lucy locked herself in her room. Rose brought her an old book. Read this. It'll help keep your mind occupied. A story about a girl locked in a castle? Maybe. But Jane fought back. She didn't give in. Lucy gave a crooked smile. I just feel betrayed. By my mom, by Henry. Like I'm some kind of merchandise. Rose sat beside her. When you were little, your mom once fought the landlord because she couldn't pay the rent. She's not evil. Just, life pushes people to do terrible things. Lucy stayed silent, clutching the book. 3 days later, Abigail showed up. Lucy froze as she saw her mother walk in, wearing a new dress, her hair carefully curled. Mom. Lucy, I came to visit you. I don't want to see you. Don't be like that, sweetheart. Lucy lunged forward. You sold me and still call me sweetheart. You'll understand one day. I want to understand right now. Abigail sat down, avoiding her daughter's eyes. I owed people. I had no choice. Henry said that if you agreed to the engagement, everything would be okay. Do you think I'm a doll? He can dress me up, paint my face, and parade me around. Abigail was speechless. Rose stood quietly by the door, watching them. Lucy, if I hadn't signed that contract, they would have cut off my fingers, thrown me into the river. Do you want to lose your mom? Lucy laughed through tears. So you're afraid of dying, so you decided to kill me slowly? No one said a word. That night, Rose came to Lucy. I have something to tell you. But you have to keep it secret. Lucy looked up, her eyes still red. Did you know Henry had 3 other young fiancés before you? Lucy jumped. I've only heard rumors, no one ever confirmed it. That's right. Because they disappeared before turning 18. No one knows where they are. Lucy's voice trembled. You mean, he did something to them? Rose leaned in and whispered, there's no proof. But I once saw their portraits in the basement. Each girl has one. Hung up like a collection. Lucy shivered. And I'm going to be the next one. You must not become a portrait. You have to survive, to escape him. The next morning, Lucy passed by Henry's office. The door was slightly ajar. On the desk was a thick file. She looked around, then quietly stepped inside. Inside the folder was a heavy contract signed by her mother. Lucy read it line by line. I, Abigail Rivers, agree to allow my daughter, Lucy Rivers, to marry Mr. Henry Dawson upon reaching legal adulthood. I also grant him signing authority over all inheritance assets belonging to Lucy. Lucy staggered back and collapsed into a chair. Another paper slipped out of the folder. The inheritance is preserved under international law, only effective when Lucy turns 18. Total value, $3.2 million US. Current legal guardian, Abigail Rivers. Lucy couldn't breathe. Her vision blurred. Rose had just stepped in and found her sitting motionless. What happened? Lucy handed her the paper. Rose read it, her face going pale. Your father left this money. Lucy mumbled, Mom never told me. She hid it. And now, sold me so Henry could get the inheritance. Rose's hand trembled. You need to confront your mother. But don't explode. We need a plan. That afternoon, Lucy met with Abigail again. They sat in the garden behind the mansion. Mom, Dad left me an inheritance, didn't he? Abigail said nothing. I'm asking seriously. Did you hide that from me? Because I was afraid you'd leave me. Lucy laughed bitterly. And instead of letting me decide for myself, you let someone else own me. Abigail looked down. I just thought Henry would take care of you. You'd live in a mansion, eat well, wear nice clothes. Better than the slums out there. You thought I needed money more than freedom? From a distance, Rose watched the two of them. She shook her head, then turned and went inside. Lucy returned to her room and collapsed at her desk. The wind outside fluttered the curtain. Rose's voice came gently, "You're not alone. I promise." Lucy gripped her hand. "I'll fight. But you have to help me." Rose nodded. "Tonight, we start." "Rose, do you think I can escape this place?" "Not yet. But we can gather information. If we get enough evidence, someone will step in. I don't trust anyone anymore. You have to trust me. And trust yourself." Lucy secretly began keeping a journal. She wrote down every detail, conversations between Abigail and Henry, his controlling behavior, and the strange things Rose had told her. One morning, Rose brought her a tiny voice recorder. "Hide this in the hem of your dress. Turn it on whenever Henry says something." Lucy took it. "Do you know anyone outside?" "An old friend. Agnes. She's an investigative journalist. She once exposed a corrupt politician. You think she'd dare go after Henry?" "If we have evidence, she will." That afternoon, Henry came into Lucy's room with 2 books in hand. "I brought you some novels. So your mind doesn't stay so limited." Lucy gave a stiff smile. "Thanks. But my mind only wants one thing: to leave this place." Henry sat down, his eyes locked on hers. "I know you're young, but age is just a number. Feelings are what matter. You know nothing about real feelings. What about what your mother calls sacrifice? She gave you to me because she believed I could offer you a bright future. No one has the right to give away their child like a gift. No. But everyone has the right to survive. And Abigail chose survival." Lucy clenched her fists but stayed calm. The recorder hidden in her dress was running. That night, Rose met her in the hallway. "Did you get anything?" "Yes. He talked about my mom giving me away." "Good. Keep going. Do you think Agnes can come here?" "Not yet. She's investigating from a distance. Don't make anyone suspicious." A week later, Rose brought shocking news. "I overheard Henry speaking with a lawyer. About the inheritance." Lucy's eyes widened. "What did he say?" "He said once you turn 18, he can sign everything on your behalf. He also said, Abigail hid the inheritance, but I'll get it. I want to hear it myself. No recording possible this time. But I'll find a way to listen again." Lucy sat in her room, doodling on paper. Rose walked in with some old photocopied documents. "These are copies of some files I found in the basement archive. You got in there while Henry was in a deep sleep. But I can't go back, there's always someone guarding it now." Lucy skimmed through them. One of them was a temporary will from her father Anthony Rivers, a businessman who died in a car crash 10 years ago. Assets include real estate in Malibu, company shares in a transport firm, and a foreign bank account. Temporarily sealed until Lucy Rivers turns 18. Temporary guardian, Abigail Rivers. Lucy trembled. "My dad left all this to me?" "Yes. And Abigail never told you?" "Because she was afraid of losing control." Rose said nothing. Then she added, "Things are escalating. Henry plans to speed up the wedding. I heard him mention a fake marriage ceremony." Lucy's skin crawled. "Why fake?" "To go public with the media. To create buzz. To trap you." Lucy stood. I can't wait anymore. We need to contact Agnes. 3 days later, Rose discreetly handed a sealed letter to a young gardener Mikey, who was very close to her. Do you remember this address? Yes, Miss Rose. My cousin works nearby. Good. Deliver this directly to a woman named Agnes. Don't let anyone see you. Lucy kept close to Henry during tea hours and conversations, recording him every time he mentioned vague phrases like asset transfer, heritage control, or marital rights. Suddenly, Lucy, get ready. Today's the photo shoot. What shoot now? She frowned at Rose. Pre-wedding photos. Henry's team has been prepping makeup artists since early morning. Lucy slumped in a chair. I'm only 15. Rose entered, her voice low, I know. But he needs the images for the press. To show the public a happy couple. The door swung open. A strange woman entered, followed by 2 stylists. Hi, I'm Clara, Mr. Henry's head stylist. Today's a big day, so please cooperate. Lucy said coldly, I'm not a model. I'm being forced. Clara shrugged. I just do my job. The more you cooperate, the smoother this goes. 2 hours later, Lucy was shoved into a pristine white wedding gown, holding a fake bouquet. The makeup made her look at least 5 years older. Rose stood in the corner, her eyes full of helplessness. I feel like a corpse dressed up, Lucy whispered to Rose when no one was around. Stay calm. Just act. Remember every face here. Each one is Henry's pawn. Henry entered. He wore a white suit, beaming like a man who just won big. Lucy, you look stunning. My angel. Do you realize how sick you are? No, I'm in love. And you will be the next mistress of the Dawson Empire. The photographer called out, first pose, stand next to each other, hand gently on the bride's shoulder. Lucy hissed under her breath, don't touch me. We need a proper photo. You don't want to embarrass Mr. Henry, do you? Clara murmured. Rose stepped forward. She's tired. Dim the lights a bit. No need, Henry snapped. Keep shooting. Lucy stood like a statue, eyes locked on the lens, refusing to smile. Henry clung tightly to her waist, his gaze possessive. Next shot a soft kiss on the bride's forehead. Lucy backed away. No. Henry growled, we're building an image. Do you want to ruin everything? A second of hesitation, then Lucy stood still, letting him kiss her forehead. Rose clenched her fists in the corner of the room. The shoot dragged on for 3 hours. When it was over, Lucy threw the bouquet on the floor. I need a shower. Rose nodded and led her back to her room. How do you feel? Like I was humiliated in front of a camera. Clara filmed everything. There will be cute behind-the-scenes clips edited for TV. Lucy went quiet. I'm not even human anymore. Just a tool. The next morning, newspapers exploded with headlines. Ageless love, billionaire Dawson and his radiant 15-year-old fiancée in first wedding photo shoot. Lucy threw the paper against the wall. Someone should see how wrong this is. Rose sat beside her. Some do. But they're too afraid to speak up. Lucy seethed. My friend Irene, she'd know something's off. But I can't message her. Don't lose hope. Agnes has responded. She's starting to investigate the previous girls. Lucy looked at Rose. The 3 before me, where are they now? Gone. But Agnes suspects one of them is living in hiding in Portland. Can she find her? She'll try. But nothing's certain yet. Lucy fell silent for a long moment. Do you think they're still alive? I hope so. But if you give up, everything they went through will be buried forever. That afternoon, Lucy was invited to a small reception in the main lounge. Henry sat at the center of the sofa, holding a glass of red wine. Beside him was a flushed-faced man named Lawrence, the deputy mayor. "Lucy. Come here," Henry called. She walked over slowly. "This is Lawrence. He's about to approve the conglomerate's new project." Lawrence stared at Lucy. "This is your fiancé. So young, so stunning." Lucy replied coldly, "I'm being forced." Henry burst out laughing. "She likes to joke. She plays the victim well." Lawrence touched her shoulder. "If you ever get bored of the old man." Lucy pulled her arm away. "Don't touch me." Henry jumped up. "Lucy. Don't speak to me like that. I'm not your possession." Lawrence chuckled. "Fiery. I like her." Lucy turned and walked out of the room. Rose was already waiting in the hallway. "See that? You're just a pawn to him, a tool to win political favor." "I know. Don't react. Stay calm. Agnes has already sent the evidence to a young lawyer named Daniel." Lucy turned to her. "A lawyer, will he help me?" "Hopefully. But you need to keep recording. As much as possible." That night, Henry entered Lucy's room holding a small box. "I have a gift for you. I don't want anything. Just open it." Lucy opened the box. Inside was a diamond necklace. "See? You're the queen of this castle." "No. I'm your prisoner. The more you resist, the more intrigued I become. You're different from the others." "Different how?" "Because I dare call you what you are, a child abuser." Henry laughed. "You can call it whatever you want. But when you turn 18, everything will be legal." Lucy gripped the box tightly. "What if I die before 18? "You won't. You'll live, because I need you alive to make the transfer legally." She stepped back. "I won't let you get what you want." "We'll see." Henry left the room. Rose entered a few minutes later, her face tense. "He's starting to show his true colors. I want to kill him." "No. You need to live and let justice do the rest." Lucy exhaled. "He said once I'm of age, he can sign everything over." "That's true if you're forced into marriage. But the contract my mom signed, it's illegal, right?" "Yes. But we have to prove you were coerced through words, behavior, and records." Lucy nodded. "Then I'll keep pretending to be the obedient puppet, until he says enough to hang himself." "Rose, who did Henry meet this morning?" "A strange man. Dressed like a lawyer. They were in the office for over an hour." "Did you hear anything?" "One line chilled me, 'Does Abigail really think she can hide it?' That inheritance was the target from the start." Lucy clenched her fists. "My father's assets, they're trying to take everything." Rose nodded. "That's what I believe too. Henry doesn't want to marry you for love, it's for money." Lucy stood up. "I need details. Is there a way to get a recording of that meeting?" "It's difficult. But maybe we can place a recorder near the office." "I'll do it." "He's going out this afternoon, right?" "Yes. Meeting a business partner. He'll be gone for about an hour." Lucy grabbed a small recorder and headed down the hallway. Rose kept watch at the top of the stairs. "Make it quick," Rose whispered. "The office is on the right. Bottom drawer is usually unlocked." Lucy slipped inside, her heart pounding. She placed the recorder under a pile of papers, double-checked it, then left quickly. That evening, Henry returned arrogant as ever. "Lucy, tomorrow you'll meet a few members of the company's board. Dress elegantly." "I'm not your secretary." "No, you're the future of this company." Lucy turned away. "I'm tired. I want to rest." Henry watched her leave, his gaze darkening. The next morning, Rose retrieved the recorder. Listen. Lucy played it. The audio played. Does Abigail think she can hide it? The asset is sealed under Lucy's name, but the guardianship is still valid. Once she turns 18, if she's my wife, I can sign everything. Another voice asked, and if not? Henry replied, then I'll find a way. Just like I did with the 3 before. Lucy's breath caught. The 3 girls, it's real. Rose nodded. I suspected. He has a record, but no one's ever pressed charges. They all took money and stayed quiet. Lucy whispered, I won't let this happen to me. That afternoon, Abigail knocked on Lucy's door. I brought you some sweets. Your favorite kind. Lucy didn't look up. Don't need them. Take them back. You're still angry with me. Not angry. I just can't forgive you. Abigail sat on the edge of the bed. I know you think I'm a terrible mother. But you've never known the fear of starving, of being beaten, of being thrown out on the street. So you handed me over to a monster because of that? Abigail lowered her head. I didn't know he was that bad. Stop lying. You signed the contract. You took the money. No one forced you. I was desperate, Lucy. I thought he'd take good care of you. He wants to steal everything my father left me. Your father left too much. I was afraid you wouldn't know how to handle it. Lucy jumped to her feet. So you decided to control it yourself and sold me off in the process? Abigail wept. I made a mistake. But now you have to cooperate. Just a few more years. Lucy stepped back. You still don't understand. Every day in this house is a prison. Rose entered just then, holding a letter. Agnes just sent a reply. There's something important you need to know. Lucy left Abigail behind and followed Rose to her room. Agnes uncovered Henry's financial history. He's collaborated with bankers to forge contracts. And my mom? Is she part of it? Not clear. But Abigail accepted cash not through a bank. That's extremely suspicious. Lucy narrowed her eyes. What about the other 3 girls? One of them named Jenna lives in Santa Fe. She refused a meeting but sent a clear message, if Lucy still has a way out, she must take it. I didn't have the courage. And I lost everything. Lucy bit her lip. I won't end up like her. Then you need to act carefully. That night, Rose quietly photocopied more documents. A woman mopping the floor, a new maid named Beatrice, passed by, her eyes filled with suspicion. The next morning, Henry summoned Rose to the office. This time, 2 men in black suits were there. Rose, you've been sneaky lately. I'm just doing my job. Really? Then why are you often seen near the archive room? Rose stayed calm. I was auditing files on orders from the previous housekeeper. That housekeeper left over 3 months ago. I wasn't officially informed. Henry narrowed his eyes. I'll have someone check all surveillance footage from this week. Rose left the office, her face pale. Lucy rushed over. What happened? He's suspicious. We need to move fast. I'll send everything to Agnes tonight. That night, Mikey slipped into Lucy's room. Any package, miss? Yes. This one is extremely important. Please take it directly to a woman named Agnes at this address. Mikey nodded. I'll go first thing in the morning. Lucy bowed her head in gratitude. You're my last hope. The next day, Rose was called to the office again. This time, 2 men in suits joined. What are you hiding? Nothing. Then why did we find copies of documents in your room? Rose remained silent. Henry stepped forward, slamming papers on the desk. You think you're some kind of detective? Or a human rights activist? I just don't want to see a child turned into a toy. Shut your mouth. From now on, you're restricted to the service quarters. Any violation, and you're fired. Rose left the office, her face frozen. Lucy was waiting in the hallway, rushing to take her hand. What did he do to you? Nothing you need to worry about. As long as the package reached Agnes. Lucy looked at her, for the first time truly afraid. If you get fired, who will help me? There's still Daniel the lawyer Agnes contacted. And there's you. You're stronger than you think. That night, Henry entered Lucy's room, his eyes sharp like blades. You know Rose searched the files. I don't know anything. Don't play dumb. If you're involved, the consequences will be severe. Lucy replied evenly, if you've done nothing wrong, what are you afraid of? Henry stepped closer. Because I know you're not obedient. And I hate betrayal. Lucy stared straight into his eyes. Then be afraid. Because I won't stay silent forever. Lucy, where's the girl? I'm here. Lucy stepped out from behind the curtain, eyes wary. Rose lowered her voice. Mikey came back. The package arrived safely. Agnes has it. Lucy let out a breath. What did she say? She's starting a deeper investigation into Henry. Anne. Rose hesitated. So what? She found out that 2 out of the 3 girls previously engaged to Henry are now living under fake identities, paid to stay silent. One of them has completely disappeared. Lucy sat down in the chair, eyes thoughtful. They were me once. Exactly. And if you don't act fast, you'll be the next to be erased. That afternoon, Henry summoned all the staff to the living room. I have an important event in 2 weeks. Everything must be perfect. Anyone who slips up, will be replaced. Rose stood quietly in the back, watching his eyes scan each person. Lucy sat on the stairs, listening to every word. Lucy, come here. She slowly stepped forward. Henry grabbed her hand and raised it for everyone to see. This is my future bride. The upcoming event will be our official engagement. And I want everyone to know, anyone who touches her is going against me. Lucy gave a cold smile. If it's an official engagement, why not invite the media too? We are. A few friendly outlets. But we need to maintain a good image. You'll wear white, smile sweetly. Got it? I don't know how to act sweet. But I do know how to pretend. Good. I like this cooperation. That night, Rose knocked on Lucy's door. Agnes found an old message exchange between Abigail and Henry. Do you want to read it? Yes. Rose handed her the phone. Agnes sent it encrypted. Abigail, I'm not comfortable. She's still too young. Henry, you signed. And you took the money. Don't forget that. Abigail, what if it comes out? Henry, I've handled it 3 times before. This will be the same, unless you start regretting things. Lucy went silent. My mother, she hesitated. She did. But still chose to go through with it. Out of fear. And for the money. I want to make these messages public. Not yet. Not the time. But they will be undeniable proof. The next morning, Lucy was called to Henry's room. Sit down. I prefer to stand. Henry poured a glass of orange juice. I know you're close to Rose. But don't trust her too much. Why not? She was expelled from a boarding school once for inciting students to rebel. That kind of person is dangerous. Maybe. But she's not the one forcing me to marry someone. Lucy, Henry leaned in, speaking slowly, you're smart. But don't be clever. I've done this for years. No one beats me. Lucy smiled. Maybe you're just old now. And you don't see that times have changed. At that moment, Beatrice, the maid, knocked. "Mr. Henry, there's a letter from Santa Fe." Henry took it and waved her off. Lucy watched her leave and caught a glimpse of fear in Beatrice's eyes. As she left the room, Lucy pulled Rose aside. "Beatrice. She seems to know something." "I think so too. I've seen her sneaking around the archive room more than once. We need to approach her." That night, Lucy pretended to go to the kitchen for water. Beatrice was washing dishes. "Mrs. Beatrice?" "Yes. I saw the way you look at me. Do you know something?" Beatrice glanced around, then whispered. "I used to work at the house of a woman named Jenna, one of Henry's former fiancées." Lucy froze. "Is she still alive?" "She's struggling. Being watched. But she told me, if any girl ends up in what I went through, tell her, don't believe Henry." Lucy took her hand. "Help me. I want to get out." Beatrice trembled. "If I'm found out, I'll lose my job. And I'll lose my whole life." Beatrice swallowed. "All right. I'll find a way to get some documents out. But only once." 3 days later, Rose called Lucy into the laundry room. "Good news. Daniel, Agnes's lawyer, is willing to meet you. But he can't enter the mansion. So I have to go out." "No. They'll send someone disguised as a camera system technician." "Risky?" "Very. But worth it." On Monday morning, a young man with glasses and a technician uniform arrived at the mansion gate. Rose met him at the back door. "Are you Daniel?" "Yes." "She's upstairs. Go quickly." Daniel entered Lucy's room and closed the door behind him. "I'm Daniel Adams. I represent Agnes." Lucy looked at him with hope. "Do you believe me?" "I do. And I've seen all the evidence. Can you help me get out?" "Not yet. But we've sent a file to the Agency for the Protection of Minors. If they validate it, Henry will be investigated." "And my mother?" "She won't escape either. She'll face charges for selling a minor." Lucy bit her lip. "I never thought I'd feel relieved seeing my own mother under investigation." Daniel said softly. "I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help you get out." "Thank you. But Henry is preparing for the wedding ceremony. We know. And we're going to destroy it from the root." A knock on the door. Rose quickly ushered Daniel out the back. Henry appeared, face stern. "Is there a stranger here?" "No," Rose replied, "just someone fixing the water system. I didn't authorize anyone to come today. He had a work order from the housekeeper. I couldn't stop him." Henry looked around, then nodded. "Next time, inform me first." "Understood." That night, Lucy couldn't sleep. Rose sat beside her bed. "It's almost time. Are you ready? Ready to fight till the end?" "Rose, what is he planning?" "I saw a film crew outside. The engagement ceremony. Henry invited some high-profile people and hired media for a live stream." "Live stream?" "Yes. He wants the public to get used to the image of a loving couple despite the age gap. He's laying the groundwork for the real wedding later." Lucy collapsed by the window, holding her head. "How much longer until the Child Protection Agency arrives?" Agnes said possibly this week. But without an official order, they can't break in. So the ceremony will still happen? Rose nodded. "You have to play the obedient bride one last time." Lucy looked at her, voice hoarse. "I feel sick. Every time I smile for the cameras, I die a little inside." Rose placed a hand on her shoulder. "But that very endurance is what will bring him down." The next morning, Abigail arrived with another woman, the lead makeup artist for the event. Lucy, today is a beautiful day. You should feel happy. Lucy glanced at her mother. Happy to be paraded like a joke for the world to see. This is your chance to enter a new world. To be respected, cherished. You really believe you've done nothing wrong? Abigail was silent. The makeup artist interrupted. You should sit. We still need to do your hair, try the dress. Lucy was pulled into the chair, lipstick applied, hair styled, spray fixed. Every brush stroke on her skin felt like a cold blade. In the mirror, she saw a stranger, mature, cold, fake. Walk slowly. Just like that. Be gentle, be shy. Clara, the stylist, coached her while adjusting the dress. I don't know how to be shy. Then pretend. You're good at pretending, aren't you? Lucy stepped into the garden, where the engagement ceremony was set up. White chairs lined up neatly, a red carpet stretched from the mansion to the flower arch, cameras everywhere. Henry, in a cream-colored suit, stood waiting at the end, next to a fake priest. My little princess is here, he said, smiling from ear to ear. Please don't call me that in public. I'll call you that for the rest of my life. Lucy glanced at Rose, hiding behind a camera. She nodded. The signal, the recorder was on. Violin music played. The ceremony began. The host spoke loudly. Today, we witness a love that transcends age, status, and prejudice. Lucy whispered. It's not love. It's a filthy contract. Henry squeezed her hand. Shut up. Smile. Lucy smiled. A smile that froze her soul. Mr. Henry Dawson, do you agree to commit to Miss Lucy Rivers, from this day forward? Absolutely. Miss Lucy Rivers, do you agree to be engaged to Mr. Henry, and promise loyalty and love? Lucy hesitated. The camera zoomed in on her face. I do, she hissed through clenched teeth, but not out of love, because I was forced. The crowd fell silent. Henry turned to her, face stiff. Lucy, this is a ceremony. Don't joke. I'm not joking. I was forced. He bought me with money. My mother sold me. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Rose stood still, her hands shaking. Abigail jumped from her seat, voice trembling. Lucy, what are you doing? Lucy turned to the crowd, louder. I'm only 16. He's a rich man who used money to turn me into a living doll. Henry yelled. Turn off the cameras. Turn them off. But Rose had already gone around the back and pulled the main cable. The live stream was on full display. Lucy pulled a contract copy from her dress. This is my mother's signature. This is the contract, selling her daughter for money. And this, she held up a small recorder, is the proof that he only wants my inheritance when I turn 18. The crowd exploded. Some guests stood and walked out. Lawrence, the deputy mayor, whispered to his aide. Call a lawyer. Now. Henry snatched the recorder. I'll sue you for defamation. Lucy stepped back. Go ahead. There are dozens of witnesses. There's Agnes. There's lawyer Daniel. There's a national media network. Abigail stood frozen. Rose pulled her aside. Do you see now? This is the price of staying silent. Security guards appeared, surrounding the yard. Lucy turned to them. I demand to leave this place. I have been held here illegally. A man entered through the gate. It was Daniel. He held up a stack of documents. We have a summons for Mr. Henry Dawson. And a protective order for the minor, Lucy Rivers. She will be removed from this property immediately. Henry shouted, I'm the victim. She's the traitor. Lucy looked at him with unwavering eyes. You don't deserve to call yourself a victim. You are a predator. And I am no longer prey. Police officers began checking documents. Rose hugged Lucy, her voice trembling. You did it. Lucy's voice cracked. I'm not free yet, but at least I'm no longer silent. Abigail was taken in for questioning. As she walked away, she turned to Lucy, mouthing the words. I'm sorry. Lucy said nothing. Daniel walked beside her, speaking softly. From now on, everything will be different. You'll be protected. Lucy looked up at the sky. The clouds drifted slowly. For the first time in months, she felt like she could breathe. Rose whispered in her ear. Hold on tight. This is just the beginning. Lucy gave a faint smile. But for the first time, it's the beginning of freedom. Lucy, are you okay? I'm okay. I just can't believe what just happened. Daniel sat in the back seat, still holding the folder of documents. The news is being replayed across every channel. Henry has officially been summoned. And what? The national media is digging into his past. Rose, sitting in the front seat, turned back to look at them. Abigail too. They're investigating suspicious loans. She took loans that were suddenly erased for no apparent reason. Lucy closed her eyes. So my mom is really being investigated? Yes, Daniel nodded. But being investigated isn't the same as being convicted. Everything will follow due legal process. I want to face her. Lucy, there's no need for that now. No. I need to hear her say she sold me. The next morning, Lucy entered the interrogation room at the Child Protection Agency. Abigail sat there, wrists cuffed, eyes sunken and dark. Lucy. I want the truth. Abigail lowered her head. I made the wrong choice. I was afraid. I thought if I kept you close to Henry, you wouldn't have to live in poverty. No. You weren't afraid of poverty. You were afraid of losing money. Lucy, you have to understand. No. You signed the contract. You sold me. Then you dressed up to watch me in a wedding gown at 15. It wasn't a real wedding, it was an engagement. To pay off a debt. What debt is worth more than your daughter? Daniel tapped the table lightly. Abigail, we have all the evidence. But cooperating truthfully can help reduce your sentence. Abigail turned to Lucy. I'm sorry. I didn't deserve to be your mother. Lucy said nothing. She stood and walked out of the room. Rose was waiting in the hallway. How did it go? I couldn't cry. I have no tears left. That's because you're stronger than ever. Daniel approached them. News update. Agnes will be broadcasting the full investigation on national TV tonight, including the audio recordings, the contracts, and the inheritance documents. Lucy looked at him. Even the recordings I made? Yes. They're the key. That evening, in a temporary shelter, Lucy sat between Rose and Daniel. The TV screen lit up with Agnes, her silver hair and steady voice filled the room. We present to you a 3-month-long investigation into Mr. Henry Dawson, a wealthy businessman who used his power to control, detain, and arrange unlawful marriages with underage girls. Next came footage from the engagement ceremony. Lucy's voice echoed. I didn't consent. I was forced. My mother sold me. Rose squeezed her hand. You were so brave. We have in our possession a copy of the contract, Abigail Rivers' signature, and records of unusual financial transfers. Additionally, we've located 4 survivors who were once fiancés of Henry, now living under new identities. Lucy whispered. They finally spoke out. Daniel nodded. Because of you. You gave them courage. Agnes continued. Lawyer Daniel Adams has filed a criminal lawsuit with the New York High Court, with an urgent request to prosecute Henry Dawson for forced marriage, unlawful detention, and attempted inheritance fraud. Daniel's phone rang. He answered, then turned to Lucy. The judge just signed the order. Abigail's guardianship rights have been revoked. You now have the right to name a new legal guardian. Lucy hesitated. I want to choose Aunt Teresa. Rose was surprised. You still remember her? I never forgot. Mom cut her off out of jealousy. But Teresa treated me like a real daughter. Daniel nodded. She called me. Said, if Lucy needs me, I'll be there. A week later, at the first public hearing, Henry stood before the judge. He wore a dark suit, head slightly bowed. On the other side, Lucy sat in plain clothes, beside Daniel, Rose, and Teresa. The judge asked. Defendant Henry Dawson, do you plead guilty? No. I'm being slandered. She volunteered. Daniel stood. We have a recording where Mr. Dawson says, and I quote, I'll get the inheritance once she's of age. If not, I'll handle it like the three before. Lucy stood up, voice firm. He never loved me. He wanted me for money. And because he believed no one would dare challenge a rich man. The judge turned to her. Miss Lucy, what do you hope to achieve with this trial? I don't want money. I want freedom. And I want justice for every girl he ever tried to destroy. The courtroom erupted in applause. A thin woman with curly hair stood from the back. I'm Jenna. I was his first fiancée. I confirm everything Lucy said is true. Lucy turned, choked up. Thank you. Jenna walked forward and held her hand. No. Thank you. After the hearing, Daniel drove Lucy and Rose back to the new apartment. Do you know what you did today? I'm not sure. I just know. I'm no longer afraid of him. Rose hugged her tightly. You brought light into the darkest mansion in New York. Lucy looked at Daniel. Do you think he'll go to prison? With all the evidence, the media pressure, and other victims coming forward, it'll be hard for him to escape. And my mother? She'll face court too. But her cooperation might earn leniency. Lucy sighed. I don't know if I'll ever forgive her. But I don't hate her anymore. That's the beginning of healing, Rose said. One afternoon, Teresa picked Lucy up for ice cream. Sweetheart, what do you want? Lucy smiled brightly. Strawberry and chocolate. Just like when I was 10. Teresa handed her the cone. From now on, you get to live your real age. Lucy took a bite, then turned to her. You know. I don't dream of escape doors anymore. I dream of doors opening ahead. Lucy, do you want to write a supplemental statement? Yes. I want to tell everything. Daniel placed a notebook in front of her, pen ready. Begin whenever you're ready. I want to talk about the wedding photo. About his eyes. About how he never saw me as a person. You could write it like a letter. To your past self. Lucy smiled gently. That's a good idea. A month after the first hearing, the official trial began. The media swarmed outside the courthouse. Former victims Jenna, Sophia, Natalie were present. Rose sat in the front row beside Teresa and Lucy. Henry was led into the courtroom by two officers. His face was cold, but the arrogance was gone. The judge struck the gavel. Begin. Daniel stood. We present a clear chain of evidence. The defendant Henry Dawson planned, manipulated, and coerced underage girls into illegal engagements to gain access to their assets and boost his public image. The judge turned to Henry. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Henry stood. I didn't force anyone. These girls lived in luxury. They agreed because I took care of them. No one was coerced. Lucy stood abruptly. You call locking someone up, cutting off contact, threatening them, and forcing them into a wedding dress, taking care. The judge nodded. Permission granted for Miss Lucy to speak. Lucy stepped forward. I used to believe no one would ever believe me. That even if I screamed, the world would turn away. But then I met Rose. Daniel. Agnes. They pulled me out of the hell he built. Jenna stood up. I was the first. I stayed silent for 10 years. Today, I speak so no other girl has to live as a ghost. Natalie cried. I almost ended my life. Henry had people follow me for 5 years. He called it protecting my dignity. I call it imprisonment. The judge flipped through the files, then looked directly at Henry. Based on all evidence, testimonies, and supporting documents, the court sentences the defendant Henry Dawson to 28 years in prison and orders the seizure of all assets tied to abuse, coercion, and unlawful acquisition. Henry screamed. I'm being framed. I have money. I'll appeal. Lucy looked at him. Your money can't buy time anymore. Rose leaned in and whispered. You won. Abigail was escorted out right after the trial. She wasn't in handcuffs, but kept her head low as she passed by Lucy. Lucy. Lucy stood still. You may never forgive me. But thank you, for surviving. Lucy responded softly, thank you, Mom, for finally telling the truth. A week later, at the Journalism Awards ceremony, Agnes was announced as the winner of the Investigative Report of the Year. She stepped up to the stage, holding the microphone. Lucy's story has not only transformed the legal system, it has changed the way society sees what hides beneath the velvet curtain of wealth. Lucy sat in the audience, holding Rose's hand. Do you think I'll be okay? You're already okay. Look at you, you're alive, you're strong, and your name is being spoken like someone who truly matters. Agnes continued. And now, I would like to invite Lucy Rivers, the bravest girl I've ever known, to the stage. Lucy's eyes widened. Rose gently nudged her to stand. She walked slowly to the stage, greeted by applause. I'm not good at speeches, Lucy said, but I know one thing, when you're locked in a luxurious room and no one believes you, you start to think you're not worth saving. But then just one person believes in you, just one, and you can stand here today. One afternoon, at their new apartment, Teresa opened the door. You've got a letter from the court. Lucy opened it. The apartment in Malibu, part of your father's inheritance, has been officially transferred to Lucy Rivers. All ownership procedures are complete. She set the letter down and whispered. So. I've taken back what was mine. Teresa smiled. Not just the property. Your life, too. Later that afternoon, Rose arrived with a picture frame. I think it's time to hang this on your wall. Lucy opened it. It was a photo of the three of them, herself, Rose, and Agnes, embracing in front of the courthouse. I remember that day. The day you took your future back. Lucy hung the frame on the wall. Just below the photo were the words. To be alive is not enough, only by being yourself are you truly free. In September, Lucy returned to school for the first time after nearly a year of confinement. She entered the classroom with cautious eyes. A girl stood up. You're Lucy Rivers, right? Yeah. Welcome back. You're the reason we just wrote our paper on personal freedom in modern society. Lucy smiled brightly. That afternoon, in the schoolyard, Daniel came to pick her up in his old car. Ready to celebrate? Where are we going? To the cafe Ms. Jenna opened just outside town. Everyone will be there. Lucy got in the car and looked up at the sky. Daniel? Yeah. Do you think people who've been hurt can love again? Not just can they love even more deeply. Because they know the value of freedom. Because they know the value of themselves. At the small cafe, everyone had gathered. Jenna served pastries. Natalie brewed tea. Sophia played music. Rose told jokes. Agnes came over and handed Lucy a small book. "This is your journal. I edited it. It's going to be published soon," titled The Light Behind the Locked Door. Lucy opened the first page. The first line read, "I used to be silent. But not anymore." Before leaving the cafe, Lucy turned around and hugged everyone. "Ms. Rose." "Yes, sweetheart. You didn't just save me. You were the first to look at me like a real mother would." Rose's voice trembled. "You've always been my daughter ever since the moment I saw you in that white dress without a smile." Lucy stepped outside. Daniel was waiting by the car. Teresa waved from a distance. Lucy looked back at the sky. "Everything now is a new beginning. Ready?" Daniel asked. Lucy nodded, her smile radiant. "Let's go." Lucy's story is a powerful wake-up call. Silence in the face of injustice can destroy a soul. No one, not even a parent, has the right to decide a child's future through coercion or sacrifice. Lucy's courage proves that even in the face of betrayal, imprisonment, or being treated like an object, a person can still rise, reclaim their voice, and fight for their right to live. With faith, determination, and the help of kind people, even the darkest prison can be escaped, and that light can shine far enough to awaken an entire society.
If you enjoyed this story, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep bringing heartwarming stories almost every day. We are very grateful for your support. See you soon.